What if the story you thought you knew about Dracula was only half the tale? Imagine another predator stalking the moonlit hills of Transylvania, not a monster born of fiction, but a shadow steeped in legend. Her name was Viktoria, a name whispered in fear and reverence for centuries. While Vlad the Impaler, the infamous Dracula, stands as the face of vampiric terror, Viktoria's legend offers something far more chilling, the tale of a woman consumed by betrayal, vengeance, and an insatiable hunger that echoes through the corridors of history. Could it be that her name was deliberately erased to protect the fragile fabric of collective memory? Or is her silence in the annals of history a testament to how terrifying her legend truly is? The origins, Viktoria's connection to Dracula. History has often been a graveyard for inconvenient truths. While Vlad the Impaler's brutal exploits are well documented, Viktoria's existence lives in the shadows. Some folklore claims she was a noblewoman, a contemporary of Vlad, who shared not only his thirst for power but also his obsession with blood. Yet, unlike Vlad, Viktoria was not born into her monstrous legacy. She became it. The legend begins with betrayal. Viktoria, the youngest daughter of a prominent Wallachian family, was said to be a political pawn in the volatile chess game of medieval Europe. Betrothed to an influential nobleman, she was sacrificed to secure an alliance. But betrayal came not from her enemies, it came from her own blood. Some accounts claim her family turned on her, offering her to their enemies in a bid for survival. Captured, tortured, and left for dead, Viktoria was said to have been cursed by a mysterious figure in her final moments. Whether this figure was a witch, a vampire, or something darker is uncertain. What is known is that Viktoria emerged from her ordeal forever changed. Some say she sought out Vlad himself, drawn to the cold, calculated fury that mirrored her own. Others argue that she was his equal in terror, operating alongside or even against him. Regardless of her alignment, she became a name that struck fear across Transylvania and beyond. Where Dracula was methodical in his cruelty, Viktoria's legend was wild and unpredictable, a tempest of rage and hunger. The Mysteries of Viktoria, a tale of terror. What sets Viktoria apart from Dracula is the deeply personal nature of her terror. While Vlad's atrocities were largely political, Viktoria's were almost always intimate. Local folklore tells of villages where entire families vanished overnight, their homes left untouched but eerily silent. In some accounts, her victims were not merely drained of blood but left in twisted, grotesque poses, a macabre signature that marked her as something far more than a predator. One story from the mid-15th century tells of a bride's procession intercepted by Viktoria. The bride, said to resemble Viktoria in her youth, was found days later in her wedding gown, her face frozen in a scream. The groom was never found, though villagers whispered that he had been taken by Viktoria to suffer an eternity of torment. Was this a twisted act of revenge against the life Viktoria could never have? Or was it a warning, a reminder of the price of betrayal? Then there are the whispers of her followers. Unlike Dracula, whose legacy inspired fear among his subjects, Viktoria was said to have amassed a cult-like following. Her acolytes, known as the Children of the Veil, believed that drinking her blood would grant them immortality. Rituals involving forbidden rites and sacrifices were said to take place deep in the Carpathian forests, where Viktoria's presence could be felt but seldom seen. To this day, some claim that the ruins of these ritual sites still exude an unnatural chill. Shocking details and unknown facts. One of the most unsettling aspects of Viktoria's legend is her alleged immortality. Unlike Dracula, whose death has been fictionalized and dramatized countless times, there is no definitive end to Viktoria's tale. Some claim she disappeared into the forests of Transylvania, while others believe she fled to distant lands. Reports from as far away as Italy, Hungary, and even England suggest sightings of a mysterious woman whose appearance defied the passage of time. A particularly eerie account comes from the 18th century, when a series of murders in the Austrian Alps bore a striking resemblance to Victoria's methods. Victims were found drained of blood, their bodies arranged in unnatural poses, with no signs of struggle. Local authorities dismissed the idea of a supernatural predator, attributing the deaths to wild animals or deranged individuals. Yet, in private correspondence, one investigator described an encounter with a woman whose beauty was described as otherworldly, and whose eyes seemed to pierce the soul. Another disturbing fact lies in the artifacts associated with Victoria. A dagger believed to have belonged to her was uncovered in the early 20th century near Brauve. The blade, inscribed with cryptic symbols, was said to induce hallucinations in those who touched it. Some researchers who studied the artifact reported vivid dreams of a woman with blood-stained lips, standing in a field of corpses. Could this be Victoria, reaching out from the shadows of history to remind the world of her existence? Victoria's enduring legacy. Unlike Dracula, whose story has been immortalized in literature and film, Victoria's legend remains elusive, almost deliberately suppressed. Yet, her influence can be felt in countless tales of female vampires, seductive, vengeful, and unstoppable. From Carmilla to Elizabeth Bathory, the echoes of Victoria's story resonate through history, shaping our collective imagination. But what if Victoria's story isn't just legend? What if her absence from mainstream lore is a deliberate attempt to erase a truth too terrifying to confront? After all, history is written by the victors, and Victoria's existence challenges the narrative of a world ruled by men. She represents a force of nature, a being who defied her oppressors and claimed her place in a world that sought to destroy her. So, who was Victoria? Was she a victim turned predator, a woman cursed by betrayal and vengeance? Or was she something far older, a being whose origins lie beyond the grasp of history? One thing is certain, her legend refuses to die. Whether as a whispered fear in the dark or as the inspiration for countless tales of vampiric horror, Victoria's shadow looms large. And perhaps that is her ultimate triumph, to exist not in the pages of history but in the endless night of our imaginations. For in the end, the most terrifying monsters are not the ones we see, but the ones we cannot escape. The question remains, is Victoria still out there, watching from the shadows, waiting for the world to remember her name? Or has she truly vanished, leaving behind only a trail of fear and fascination? The truth, as with all great legends, lies buried in the dark, waiting to be uncovered. But be warned, once you seek Victoria, you may never escape her gaze. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time.